Hi all, I'm Adam and this is Ad's Projects. Now it's finally time for me to be able to actually get the power supply made, lights in the case, all wired up, nicely dressed, get this side of the project finished so I can actually start getting the hardware inside the case and moving the bits across to the case and finally get it back into service so I can start using it and then start saving up for the other parts of the project. The power supply has been a bit of a pain in the arse. There's not enough room for what I want to do with it, so I sort of opted to go and grab an off-the-shelf regulator which I have lying around. That doesn't fit in the box, so I'm going to build the circuit board purely just as a marshalling board, and then I'll probably build some sort of external power supply later on, or do something with a regulator and heat sleeving. It's not going to be the prettiest, but it's going to be up top of the case out of the way for the time being, so I'm not too fussed. I just want to get this side of things complete now. So let's go over to the desk and I'll tell you what we've got planned. So, I know what you're thinking, there's a drill on the desk, this can't be good. And to be honest, it probably won't go well. I'm going to do that off camera because I want to concentrate on getting the holes in the correct places on the box. I know it's not going to be seen, but I tend to have a bit of OCD, just want to line them all up, make sure they're all nice and tight and accurate. So, that's one side. Little diagram on the desk, nothing major, it's just basically the size of the box, what I've got to play with the PCB inside, where I'm lining up all the connectors for. Now I'm not doing as a parallel pin that I was going to do, which was basically running them all as a single bar. I'm actually going to break them in twos and basically space them in between. It avoids me putting these around the wrong way when I put the connectors on. It also gives me a bit more space. I think it's going to look a bit neater as well, so I'm going to break them off and do them in single banks. PCB, I have cut the corners off of it just so it actually fits inside the case, which it now does. Probably won't get this out with it going in. I won't get it in. This is not going well. Let's try and get that back out. Okay, I have lots more of these pins, so it doesn't even matter if I break them. Trust me, it goes in. I'll fit that later. So I'm going to disappear. I'm going to drill the holes in the way I need. I'm going to be using masking tape around the box just to keep the holes nice and tidy. I'll come back to this once I've drilled them all so you can see what it's like. I'll then start running solder on the PCB, doing the connectors, doing link wires. I have a loss of space on here admittedly, however with the layout that I'm going for and the ability to be able to plug these in a jumper format, I actually don't. One of the things I didn't take into account is I want to be able to have it so the heat shrinking on these is showing slightly. If I have the connectors further down the board right at the bottom, then when they come in they're actually going to hang out slightly, and that's not really what I want. I want them to actually be shown as in you can slightly see the heat shrinking coming out, so it means the connectors have got to go further up on the board, which means I'm going to lose all the space underneath. I've got space on the back I suppose, however when the board's actually in, the connectors come up slightly anyway, so they actually come up to the top of the box, so it really doesn't leave an awful lot of room for me to play. What I probably will do going forward is replace this with a slightly deeper box, then I can get all the power supply modules in that I need to get in. As I said, for now I'm probably just going to use some sort of buck regulator or something just to limit the output current to around about 2 amps, just so that if something does go short circuit it can't run away and do an awful lot of damage. The connectors already in the case don't have any type of protection on whatsoever, so it's better than nothing at this stage. Right, let me crack on. I'm going to drill the holes and then I'll come back. Right, quite a bit of drilling later and the box is complete, the holes. I'm going to get another box because this one didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. The plastic, as drilling through it, as it got to the middle, it is quite flexible in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but as I was drilling, getting closer and closer to the middle, as the plastic started to flex, it de-aligned a lot of the holes, so they're not perfect. So I'm going to get a different box. As I said, I needed to get a big one anyway to house all the electronics. This will do for now, just to keep everything secure. I might even get 2 of these boxes, one to house the power supply and one to house the connector board. I don't know. I've drilled a few extra holes just for expansion later on. So I'm going to build a PCB now. Hopefully these will line up as I planned. I will find out. In fact, actually, why don't I check now? So let's just break off out of my snips today. I actually went to the effort to get them. How many do I need? I need, for the lights, I need 6. So 3. Actually, I think there's 6 in total on this strip. 4. 5, 6. Well, that worked out well. So let's place these in where they're going. Actually, let's go on that way. So as I said, my plan for these are to do a space. It just prevents me misconnecting them, or anyone else misconnecting them for that matter. Now that goes for a while. We grab a cable and let's just see where. I went for a 6mm hole in the end. Cable sleeving is 4. The sleeving is, when shrunk down, is 4, but the connector was 5, so they wouldn't go through a 4mm hole, obviously. So, plan is for that. Oops. Obviously, they won't come off when they're soldered down. We could have another one. Don't fall off the bench. Plug that line. If it will go in. Yeah. Where you're supposed to go. Okay, so yeah, that's the plan. To be fair, they actually look quite good. So I'll get all this put together, sorted up. This isn't going to be anything special. It's literally just going to be a bus bar, and then the point connectors on the bus bar, they'll come off to a set point connector, and then I will use a input from some sort of voltage regulator to keep these happy. Right, back shortly. Well, I had some time to spare, so I thought I would bore you all with me soldering this board up. I've actually brought the soldering iron down to my desk level. Normally it sits up on top shelf, up there. When back and forth it actually gets caught under the monitor, so I thought it'd just be easier to bring it down. So I've actually increased the amount of the point connectors I've got. I've actually put 8 on the board. I needed 6. I forgot I needed a 7th for the front connector when I do it for the LED logo, and I've put an 8th on there purely as expansion. Now normally do these individually, but I had the masking tape, so I thought I'd just tape them all down in one go and solder them all in one go. So without further ado, let's crack on. Now the lighting in here is terrible, and this isn't going to work very well, is it? I need something to actually hold this down. It's made more difficult because I do have a tripod actually in my way. You know what, let's bring out these. Whoops. Just give me something secure to be able to use. So actually get these done. Right. I do plan to use jumpers on this board to separate the positive and negative rails. There's a billion other ways you can do it. As I said, electronics isn't my profession, it's a hobby. So, as with everything, you learn by doing it. If I've done it wrong, so be it. As I said, this is a massive board for what I'm trying to do with it. I did contemplate just soldering all together, but I thought I'd at least make an effort, and this is really what Abs Projects is all about. You know, it's about having a go. I don't expect to get everything right. I mean, the fact is I've done it, and there's a load of projects I've done over the years and I haven't documented. And a lot of them actually stem from what I do for a living. And you know, typically the ones I start with haven't. Let's make sure they're all nice little mountains. There's one that looks like a bit of a replay. Much better. Peripheral focus. So at least that gets the basic of the board done. This whole video today is basically about getting this done. It's been going on too long. I only have time to make these videos in an evening as well, on the weekend. It is currently Sunday. It's approaching 4 o'clock. I have a little boy who will be up very shortly as well. So it's fitting this in around the family life. So yeah, those aren't all sitting flush, so I need to reflow them, just bring them down. Something I should have checked prior. However, the spacing on these is it's hot. Yeah, so spacing would enable me to float both of these at the same time, but yes, I think quite the plan. Oh dear. Let's grab the helping hand in here again. And also some of the time for these videos is I don't always know what I'm doing. Don't push on the back, I should be able to. That's better. And like I said, this channel is all about having a go. You know, if I get something wrong, I'll happily admit it. The box itself, like I said, isn't perfect, but you know, you learn from your mistakes and so on. Right, I'm going to finish this off and then I'll come back. Alright, so they are completed at long last. Electronics, very little. Brought a multimeter in just to see how much these are actually drawing when they're turned on. I've purposely not sleeved the power cable so I know which one that is. I've also used a solid strand cable for that as well, just because I know the ampage coming in to this is probably going to need something a bit of a larger diameter than what I've got running the individual LED strips. So let's get the easy bit out of the way, power it up, and then I'll bring it all back in and we'll go over it. Now these are drawing, let me see on the camera, roughly around about 2.5 amps. I'm using about half of the reel. I think the reel was 5 meters. I'm probably using about 2.5, maybe a little bit more than that. The 5 meter reel was rated at 5 amps, so using half of it and getting about 2.5, that's about right. It's about 30 watts, I think I worked it out to be. They do get quite warm, hopefully when they're attached to the case, that being metal should help distribute some of the heat. I'll keep an eye on them. And yeah, so I'm going to turn this off, just because the light is swamping out the camera. Also I can get rid of the multimeter. We'll go over the box of tricks quickly. I did find a Molex connector to go on the end of it. I'll go over that, and yeah, the next video will be actually putting them in the case, which should be nice. So yeah, let's turn them off and knock the camera in the process. There we go. Right, let's get that out of the way. So, extremely simple. You've seen the tape before, so I'm not going to go over that. The connectors in the box lined up perfectly. The breadboard on the back end of it. I didn't take any pictures or any video of it. I sort of put it in, glued it in, and then realised I hadn't done that, and I didn't really want to take it back out. So literally on the back side of this there's literally a couple of bus bars that just run down. I've left 2 spare terminals for expansion, although the 8th one now won't get used because the power input is in there, but the 7th one I will be able to use for powering the LED front panel, so that's fine. I stuck a capacitor in there. It is 12 volt, actually no, sorry, it's 16 volt. I think it's 100 microfarad, just to take off any transient spikes off of power coming from the PSU. I'm going to be running this off the PC power supply, so I know under a high load it's only a 450 watt power supply. When gaming and the machine is overclocked, it does draw an awful lot of power, so it's there purely just to keep things nice and smooth going to the LEDs. No other real reason other than that. The board itself, that's it, it's simple. I didn't put a DC to DC regulator on this. I'm going to have a look on eBay for maybe just an LED driver and drop that in front of this. But yeah, it serves a purpose, it does what it needs to do. So I did, in my old box of tricks, find a Molex connector, which was off of a neon tube kit that was fitted to a PC to dance with the rhythm of your music. So that's going back a few years, and you can tell it's going back a few years because the connector is actually white going on yellow, but it'll do for now. It's going to be out of the way. I will change it. I've got to change the box anyway. So yeah. So next video I'm going to lob all this in the case and finally start getting the stuff transferred over. So it's been fun. There's a load of things I'd do differently, but yeah, it's a start. I've been out of the game for a while, so it's nice just to be doing this sort of stuff again. So yeah, subscribe, I would appreciate that. Like if you liked it, dislike it if you don't, but I don't care. I've disabled comments for the minute, just until I find my footing, although I don't really care with the negative feedback, to be completely honest. Constructive criticism's okay. But yeah, right, I will leave you in peace. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.